Oh man, just real quick, huh? What are you starting to do?
I don't know, because you made me forget.
I didn't make you forget. You done it yourself. How can I make you forget?
By distracting me while I was walking this way with music.
Yeah, I just want to respond to Tracy real quick. Now, the Innocence Project of New York is taking on Darla Routier's case, and they've been at it for 4 years. And Tracy is a supporter of Darla Routier's. And typical behavior of Darla Routier supporters is to get angry and say, I'm done with you. Now, I've stuck up for Tracy, and I like Tracy. She told me to take a wrench, and she's gotten snappy with me a couple times over this case, and I'm not going to allow her to upset me. You know, she's on a different opinion of it. And the fact that she goes, oh my God, he called the Innocence Project. Well, Danelle suggested that people call and email the Innocence Project with any lead, anything that they have, any lead. Danelle put their address out there. So supporters will also be stalking because they will be calling the Innocence Project. And I feel like if this, and Tracy, you tell me that it's none of my business, right? You tell me it's none of my business. Anybody incarcerated anywhere, it's none of nobody's business. That includes interviews with inmates, right? That includes diving into the case and showing it on YouTube, right? This is something that I've worked for 15 years. I was on the supporter side of Darla Routier, and I ran groups for Darlie. And I was a very avid supporter for Darlie before Tracy even came around. Free Darlie that you see on Facebook is my group. I gave it to supporters because of the lies that her mother said. Her mother actually accused me of the 85J being my fingerprint. So I do. I want to get out there. She keeps saying, leave that family alone. As if I was bothering that family. Danelle and I have open communication. We speak. Not as much as I like, but we speak. And I've been kind to her. I've been kind about this whole thing. I haven't resorted to insult. I haven't resorted to popping up videos with somebody's name under it. I'm not going to do that. But just like I told you when you called the other day, and you said, well, I shouldn't have popped off at you, blah, blah, blah. I said, that's okay. That's just typical supporter behavior, is to be mad. If the state of Texas has convicted her and has her in jail, and you support that, and you don't support that, Tracy, what business is it of yours? What business is that of yours that Texas convicted her? Okay? So it is your business because you feel like an innocent person is in there. Right? So that you made it your business to become a Darla Routier supporter. And some of the things that you even said in your last live about, oh, the fingerprint brush and the screen fiber, blah blah blah. If you would have looked at testimony, you would have seen clearly that the fingerprint brush rods are a lot thicker. They already knew that it wasn't a match. They already knew that. And the bottom line is this: if that knife has that screen fiber on it, then she's guilty. So I encourage people to go look at Prosecution Podcast. They have a 4-part series on Darla Routier. That's some other people who it's none of their business either, apparently. You know, when we're on YouTube, Tracy, we're talking about things that are none of nobody's business, if you want to be technical. So you can be mad at me. Puss in Boots can sit over there and say, I have no life. You know, that's cool. Whatever. I really don't, because I don't do anything anymore. You're right. I don't have no life. I can't work like I used to. Thanks for that, Puss in Boots. And Everett Scott left a comment in there saying, you notice I've left him alone for 2 years? Well, you notice I haven't said anything about Everett Scott for 2 years, and I know exactly who that is. And then you know, you're allowing them to say things like he sabotaged his own son's case. You're allowing that in your chat, Tracy. So can you tell me how it's your business if the state of Texas convicted her and you don't feel like she's guilty? How is it your business to get out there like you did and speak up for her innocence? How did you make that your business? How did you come to support Darlie? You made it your business. And you say things, you try to be dramatic and say, leave that family alone. Danelle and I have an open conversations. We speak. When Danelle tells me to leave them alone, I will. She hasn't. We've been kind to each other. These are things you don't know about. Lots of things in the case. You know, I think you're misinformed on the case. That doesn't mean, fuck Tracy, I'm done with you. Nope, I won't be done with you. You can do that. You can be immature if you like. If you and I have a difference of opinion on a case, you know, and there's been times I've stuck up for you and times you stuck up for me, you are not. What you're not going to do is make me angry. You are not, because I am not going to approach this case like I did before. I'm not going to do it. And as far as whose business is that, well, you know, if you want to debate the case with me, Tracy, we can do that. And you've already come up here once, and I proved you wrong a couple times, nicely, without insult. And I'm going to continue that. You can feel free to get up under my comments, because if you notice under my videos, there's a couple of them where I put that if you come in there, I don't want people to bother you. I don't want my non-supporters to make rude comments to you. They're not going to do that. I don't want them to do that. So you're welcome. I'll take you. I'm not going to take your wrench, but I don't expect. I'll be watching. You're about the only one that's got a wrench. I'm not going to take your wrench. I'm not going to be immature about having a difference of opinion. It's not going to be a drama thing. It's not going to happen, people. Ain't going to happen. But I will respond like this. Tracy, you've been picked on by the worst of the worst here. You've been harassed and bothered, and I felt for you. I care for you. So if you want to be mad at me right now, you can be mad at me. But I'm not biting. And I'm going to do what I came to YouTube to do in the first place. My YouTube was based on this case, and I'm invested into this case. The main reason is I think that she's guilty. And I'll tell you, the second reason is that her mother publicly accused me of the crime. Period. Not only can I prove that I didn't do it, I can prove who did it. I prove that she did that. So you can be mad all you want, but that's typical supporter behavior. Follow Fugate 1982 on TikTok. You can see her little sister speaking out. You can see how angry they are. You can see how insultive they are. Just like some of Tracy's chat was being insultive to me. Nobody's going to come in my chat and be insultive to Tracy. I'm going to extend that to her. Because she gets picked on. I care about her. I feel like protecting her even though she doesn't need it. And that's just the way it's going to be. I can like who I want to like. I don't care if they like me back or not. That's the way I am. So, Tracy, you have a good day. And, you know, keep watching. And you're talking about my small views over there? My small views? Remember how my channel started out before? Started out small views? I've had hundreds of thousands of views on one video before. I'm not worried about the small views at this point, because people aren't worried about true crime. They're worried about drama. They're not worried about things that make any sense. Like, could we be putting a child killer back out on the streets? That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about calling somebody out. I'm not worried about calling somebody a stalker. When Danelle herself has put that address up for all the supporters to call, you could be very well say to them, why don't you leave them alone and let them do their job? They don't need help from the public, do they? They're the Innocence Project. So you can be mad and twist it all you want. God love you, Tracy. But I'm not playing. I'm not biting. I'm not biting, girl. And I don't care about small views. People come back to my channel and they'll see it eventually. I'm not monetized. I don't care. I'm not pushing for views. I'm pushing for the truth. That's exactly what I'm pushing for. So God bless you, Tracy. Have a good one.